Yeah, I'm live.
I said that one next Thursday. So yeah, I think this is
What up, folks? Let me know how the audio is. I'm about to plug in my mic. I'm gonna make sure it works right. All right.
it's gonna be real short and sweet. Probably a quick or two. Go everybody.
Okay, mic is plugged in. How's it sound?
Good. I need you to mirror this real quick, brother. Okay. Get everybody on board. We need traction on this. Tell everybody to go to our rates channel. BL, same with you, brother.
How's the mic? Can you guys hear me good?
Okay. Go to our rate cop watch down here in San Diego. He's gonna be the live feed.
Mic check, mic check.
Let him have the live feed. He's up there. He's standing right now.
Thank you. Cool.
Right here. So he's doing his thing. Thank you very much, everybody. This is going to be a short one. So everybody duplicate this, mirror this. This is National City with, I'm going to be slanderous when I say this, but the murder of Earl McNeil in custody of the National City Police Department.
Right.
The blatant cover-up of the city council and the National City Police Department.
Got CCW with me.
All need to be brought up on conspiracy of murder charges, and everybody needs to be immediately terminated. Anybody that's on board with the city council and any of the conspirators involved with the National City Police Department all need to be rounded up by the Department of Justice and the FBI, and they all need to come in here and do one big raid and shut this town down. Okay, 2 minutes. So again, ladies and gentlemen, I need everybody to do our great top watch. We've got to show you everybody. Taking on Facebook. On Facebook, United Against Police Terror. United Against Police Terror, and that's on Facebook. I'm going to keep my stuff until something else happens. He's pretty much, he's primary on this, and those kids out here. It's obviously what you're deal. And they know the kids have false sense with as you go work. So again, everybody that's on this, make sure you mirror, make sure you text, get everybody out here. Text your body out. Dude, and I should almost let you. Well, I'm gonna shut down. I'm gonna let IRATE do this. All right, everybody. Peace and love. Peace and love. Thanks for jumping on here real quick. No justice, no peace for Earl McNeil, National City Police Department, and the National City Council. Thanks, everybody. Thank you very much. Everybody go to IRATE. Peace and love. Peace and love. CCW. Oh shit. Did they hear me? Shall we do that again? Yeah, microphone on. I'm not sure if anybody heard a single thing. Just deleted that last audio. I'm going to start this all over again. What can you do, man? We're busy here. So again, everyone go to IRATE's channel. It's IRATE Cop Watch. Doing this all over again. Get it in the microphone and get realized. This is against the chief of police and the mayor of National City. Yeah, sorry guys, I just did a live one and didn't realize the mic was on. So now the mic is on. So I'm going to do this all over again real quick. So again, everybody go to IRATE. I'm not sure if anybody heard a single thing that I was doing a minute ago. Bring anything in. So somebody make sure to go to PNP. If you did hear it off, so the mic was on. Okay. I realized the mic was off, and that's fine. Okay, that's cool. Down the chucklehead. I had a little security breach, guys. A bunch of my videos got hacked, a bunch of my videos got taken down. I was actually
interrupt you for just a moment. The media, if you have stationary cameras, they all need to be in the back side. For those of you up front, definitely you can keep the cameras here, but just keep them at your head level so people behind you can see, and so I'll allow you to do that. As the fire marshal, it's my responsibility to make sure that I keep you guys safe. If for any reason we need to get out here in an emergency, whether it be an earthquake or anything like that. So we're going to make sure that we keep the aisleways open. This aisleway will remain open as well as going out towards the back. There are two exits here in council chambers, one being the one you came in. The secondary exit is to your left. If we need to leave in an emergency, those are your two exit pathways. As a result of that, we need to keep them open. So meaning that no one can be in this area here or in this area up front to allow staff to leave. Additionally, no one can be in the center here to allow staff as well as all of you to get out in an emergency. So again, I just want to make sure it's safe. Everybody needs to be seated, and I believe we've met occupant load, so we're as full as we can get. Thank you, guys.
The puke bag is in front of you right here, and again to the loss of time pressure, pull the mask down, place the face over your neck. Okay. What it says back there. It says in the room, that's it, they have to. Okay, guys, so that's good. Thank you very much for all this. So again, go check out IRATE. He's already on. Everybody go over to IRATE. I'm going to be looking at the secondary in case things go off. I'll get my other camera, and I'm just going to be sitting over there at the other side, and she's on FaceTime. Thank you very much, sir. Yeah, can we wear it while you're live? I think PNP just asked me about it.
There's a way, I don't know.
Okay. Thanks, everybody. All right. I know I deleted the other one. I should have. I didn't realize that you guys could hear what was being said. I didn't have the mic on. All right. Peace and light. Peace and light. CCW. Ray dismissed. Expenditures here. The chief of police and national city and the city mayor. That's basically what I said last time. The Department of Justice needs to come in here. The FBI, they need to come in here and raid this entire town. Shut the entire law enforcement down, and all the conspirators from the top level all the way down to the city council members as well, and they all need to be arrested. Thanks, everybody. Peace and love, peace and love. CCW, County Guardian was trying to make it down here, but didn't, but that's all right. Thanks for the support, everybody. Thank you very much. Peace and love.
department. So,
Oh, good, you know. Organization to have done.
oh yeah, oh yeah. So what I do so these are all my favorites, and I set them up to each one. So this way I can just tune into send sheriff. I can put them all on if I want. I can turn whatever else off I want. But see, the one thing I do for my location, I have favorites to accomplish, and that one has mid-city and high impressions in the city. Yeah, so I keep that one on usually all the time, and it keeps out all those these frequencies because they start to go over each other and stuff like that. So I mean that's the way I got it. I'm sure it's different than yours. How did you do yours? You just put in your information.
Great. Yeah. So, but I didn't. Okay. So manage favorites. San Diego County favorites, new favorites, right?
See, I had to do it in the computer. I had to go on the database. Yeah, and you can kind of select them.
I mean, like listening to a laptop.
Yeah, it's a lot easier.
Because I got the disc. He gave me a laptop.
And then you know that it records too, right? Yeah, I love that. And you can actually put in a relationship and record. Yeah. I put in like 32.5 gigs and it records more. Because I think with the stock one, it's only like
Maybe 16 or something, right?
yeah, and it'll only record like not even minutes, just because it only records when they talk.
Right.
So yeah.
Yeah, we got the base station at the house, but it didn't do us any good while we're out in town walking around.
It makes a big difference for me. Like I don't even have to go out there and watch. I just stay out at home, but just gotta run out anytime something happens.
Southwestern College. It's in Julie.
This is like a satellite campus, right?
Yeah. This is our jurisdiction extends to our really coverage. I'm actually doing an in-depth report. Yeah, I'll give you my business card. We also check out our website.
No, they're both separate. No, this is just recording it on my screen. Yeah, and that's.
Yeah, so
Yeah, yes, it's
There's a
taken.
paper there.
It's taken. It's
Oh, that's her bodyguard. It's my home. Yeah, you gotta understand different things have different vocabulary, and most of them here are privilege. This was that's what we have.
that's what I do.
When you got before.
But I can work.
Oh, I can't too. One of the Dixie one that somebody's got don't get out of the game to tell you so you never seen here. You've seen it all the time. So I wanted to be a day.
I think I have a video of you from a protest for Alfred Alonso.
Yeah,
I was at that protest as well, and I caught a video of you talking to the news anchor after she was talking about people throwing bottles.
Yeah.
I have a video of you speaking right after that incident on my Instagram before I actually started doing journalism.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I just recognized your voice, and I was like, oh no, I know that voice.
That sickens it away.
Yeah.
I cannot hide it.
No, but I really appreciated everything that you said, and I was really.
You're gonna have more to say watching it today.
Yeah, do you want my business card?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm with the Southwestern Sun newspaper.
Okay. I'm the one that interviewed him like Neil before he was killed. So I have a lot to say.
We're doing an in-depth investigative report on it, so I would love to keep contact with you.
All right, thank you very much. Okay, your sound system. A little bit louder. Okay, I want to welcome everyone this evening to the City Council meeting and let you know that if there's any item that you would like to speak to on the agenda, there are, right outside the door, there are these slips. Please fill it out for the item that you would like to speak to and get those over to our city clerk. If there's any item that you would like to speak to that is not on the agenda, fill out the exact same one, but just check on public oral communication. Those will be up at the very beginning of the meeting, so please get that over and get me to our city clerk. All right. Also, we will have translation available. Do we? Yeah, yes. We go one second. We have translation available at 8 o'clock. I will check, and at that point, there's no one who needs translation at that point. Then, thank you. We will go ahead and reduce the translator at that point. With that, I would like to call the meeting to order. Mr. Dowd, would you have roll call, please?
Yes, Member Brown.
Present.
Member Rios.
Here.
Member Soto Solis.
President.
Vice President Gonzalez.
Here.
Mayor Moore.
I'm present. If you please stand for the pledge of allegiance, remain standing for the invocation.
Of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, God, for all the blessings and the favor that you pour upon us. I ask you to give the wisdom and knowledge to these council members each and every day that they sit up there, and ask you to guide us.
Throughout each and every day. Ask people to protect our military, get them home safely from foreign countries. And also ask you, Lord, protect our first responders, police officers, firemen, and paramedics. And ask the Lord for all these people that are here today, get them home safely and guide them with your angels, and protect them with your angels. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Mr. Mayor? Yes, before you continue, I hope everyone is aware that we've undergone some modifications.
Just getting ready to talk about that.
And some upgrades in the council chamber. Some of them are still underway. This evening is the first evening we are embarking on using some of the ones that have already been installed. So we ask the public's patience, council's patience, as we might be a little bit more patience on the part of everyone to get through this evening. As we make certain adjustments, the system is still being installed, and hopefully by the next meeting we should be pretty close to being complete. Okay.
Yeah, and as I say, there's a lot of stuff is still not operational, but the basics are, and a lot of it has not been tested on that well yet. So sound levels, everything else, so please be patient with us tonight. They were still working on this as of like within even the last half hour. So trying to get all this together.
Mayor, I think I pushed this button. Is it flashing on it?
Yeah.
Oh, because I wanted to say something quickly.
Is it an announcement?
Well, it's an issue with the webcast. I just learned that the webcast is not up and running, so if someone could check that.
Yes, it is.
It is, I did it. Okay, great, thank you.
Everything that you're seeing right now is what would be going on.
Great, thank you.
All right. Okay, with that, a number of items, a number of things I need to cover before we get the meeting started. First of all, let me just read into the record. So that before we start today's meeting, I want to remind everyone about the city's practices and procedures for public comment and participation at city council meetings. The city welcomes public participation at city council meetings. To make sure that everyone has an opportunity to address the council, I will alert a person or persons if I think their conduct becomes disruptive. Excessive yelling, screaming, speaking beyond one's allotted time, or walking beyond the podium barriers without permission are examples of behavior that disrupt the meeting. If any person or person so disrupts the meeting, I will direct the person to take their seat and stop the disruption. If the disruption continues, I will rule the person or persons causing the disruption out of order. If the person or persons continue to disrupt the meeting, I will direct police to escort the person or persons out of the building. If public comment becomes too disruptive, we will move public comment to the end of the meeting to finish other items of business on the agenda. If public comment continues to be disruptive at the end of the meeting, we will terminate public comment and adjourn to the September 18th meeting. If the disruption continues further after public comment, I may then declare a 15-minute recess so that we can restore order. At that point, police will clear the council chambers and may even clear City Hall. If City Hall is cleared, members of the public may listen and watch the meeting online through their personal devices. Only those persons speaking on a particular agenda item may be allowed back into City Hall. Remember, it is your responsibility to list your name when I call it, because I will only be calling it twice. These procedures are necessary to make sure that no one person or group of people disrupt the meeting in a way that prohibits other people from listening, watching, participating in the meeting, or being able to exercise their First Amendment rights. Speakers may address the council during public oral communication and also in connection with a specific item of business on the agenda. Depending on the number of people wanting to speak on an item, I may limit comment to 3, 2, or even 1 minute. If speakers want to comment on a specific agenda item, their comments must relate to the agenda item. In other words, speakers' comments may not wander far from the subject of the agenda item. I may warn a person if I feel their comments stray off topic. If a person continues to discuss irrelevant materials, I may call them out of order and direct that they take their seat. If they continue to disrupt the meeting, at that point, I may direct the police to escort that person from the meeting. Please remember the fire marshal may restrict the number of people who may enter and re-enter the building based on the city hall's occupant load. The fire marshal may enforce section 1031.2 of the California Fire Code, which states required exit access, exit, and exit discharges shall be continuously maintained free of obstacles or impediments to full instant use in case of fire or other emergency where the building area served by the means of egress is occupied. An exit or exit passageway shall not be used for any other purpose that interferes with a means of egress. And finally, at this point, our city attorney would like to make a comment.
Good evening, and thank you, Mayor, council members, city staff, and members of the public. My brief announcement and comments relate to the Earl matter. On July 24, 2018, the National City Police Department unsealed the San Diego County Medical Examiner's report. As indicated previously, the City of National City or the National City Police Department do not have control over the release of the San Diego County Medical Examiner's report, whether it is sealed or unsealed. That is a decision made by the San Diego County Medical Examiner's Office. It is their report to release or not. The City of National City or the National City Police Department has not resealed this report. If it is sealed or has been resealed, it was not done by the City of National City or the National City Police Department.
Lie.
And we shouldn't have a problem seeing it.
All right.
Just make up the rules.
That is our statements up to this point on that. On other items on the agenda, item number 29 has been pulled from the agenda. Also then, we will be adjourning tonight's meeting in memory of two ladies, Sharon Van Venner, the wife of Jess Van Venner, who for many years was a council member, 15 years on this council. He also served, I'm trying to remember how many years it was, no, it's at least eight years on the port commissioner, intermediate level. And then he currently serves as the on our Sweetwater Authority, which is our city representative. And say his wife passed away in a funeral. Her funeral was this last week. And Sharon was always involved in just about everything in town, and was probably known by just everyone about the sweetest lady to get around. That's a big word that came out of her mouth. The other individual that we lost in the last couple of weeks was Lily Martin, and she liked to call herself just plain Lily. Lily was involved not only in the school district, but even more so on our library board for several decades actually, and was constantly involved here in civic use and trying to do everything she could for her city, and we lost her also the last couple of weeks. So we will be adjourning in the next 2 days. With that, we get into public oral communication. We do have a large number of speakers, and I'm going to limit our time to 2 minutes per speaker. And with that, we're still going to have a good amount of time on that. First, I'm going to call out 3 names at a time, so hopefully you can line up, or if you're outside, you can go ahead and get over here to the door so that we don't have to wait as much time between individuals. First of all, we have Deborah Kelly, to be followed by Jillian McGillen, and then by Arnie Zamudio.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'm representing the American Lung Association today, and we've been talking about e-cigarettes. I met with all of you as well as several staff members, and I'd really like to express my appreciation for your time and attention in this matter. I want to kind of update you about where we are. You know, we've met, in addition to our meetings with you, we've met with a lot of organizations, we've done a lot of presentations. There is a tremendous amount of support for regulating e-cigarettes and tobacco products. The National City Chamber of Commerce has voted to endorse, and they will be happy to speak to this issue at their future meeting I think right now, schools are in session and Juul's the most popular cigarette are in schools and kids are using them. I think the feeling that I picked up from the community is that they would like to see action taken sooner rather than later. I know there are differences of opinion on timing, so obviously that's a city council decision. Just wanted to remind you that your municipal code regulates tobacco products in 4 different ways. Smoke-free city parks, smoke-free open-air dining areas, where tobacco advertising can be placed in stores. All of those can be addressed with one ordinance, and then you have a fourth item which prohibits locating tobacco specialty shops near youth-friendly locations. That would require a separate ordinance that would have to be looked at by the planning commission. So none of these regulations apply to electronic smoking devices. The National City is one of 2 cities left in the county that has not taken action on this. And, there are other policies that you all can look at, in the future. We have to work with you on those. And please let me know if you have any questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Right. Next we go on to Children Miller, to be followed by Arnie Zamudio, to be followed by Maria Lucero.
Thank you, guys. I'm here once again to bring to your attention the problem on N Avenue between 24th and 26th Street with a parking problem. This is a dead-end street with parking on both sides and 15 houses total. There are 30 vehicles on our side of the street, which is the east side, and 27 on the other side. It is out of control. There is no way an emergency vehicle could make it up the street with this type of parking. My mom is 83 years old. She will need that emergency vehicle to make it up there, hopefully not soon, but in days to come. She could die by the time they got up the street, and I'm not kidding. Just this weekend, we had the house at the corner had their vehicle stopped in the middle of the street to load and unload it. Another resident pulled in off 26 right up behind him. I came down the street and I had a vehicle behind me. The vehicle behind me had to back all the way up to the cul-de-sac. I went into the neighbor's side yard, took off someone's side view mirror. I didn't even know, sorry. And he finally stopped doodling around, got in his truck. He had to go up, the other one had to come up, and then we were able to come down. It's out of control. Please view our street at night after 7 p.m. and see what I mean. If you visit during the day, all of this work. We need to stop the boarding houses on the street. New neighbors got a house and 10 people moved in. We still have the boarding house with 12 cars and people renting out rooms and having them park on the street. We have a problem. And there's a problem with people renting out homes behind their main residence too.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Next we have Arnie Zamudio, followed by Maria Lucero, followed by Rick Bram Hall.
It's Amy Zamudio.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Can I just give you this real quick? This is the article that was in the Union's review. Yeah, and on top it says the anti protesters recall this dogs. And on the bottom is the Morris Cancer Center luau. And I've been an ambassador for Morris Cancer Center for over 5 years, advocating for mental health services for cancer patients, because I happen to be a cancer patient. And I read in the newspaper that you need counseling. And I don't blame you. I had to go see a counselor after the last meeting because I love Tasha like a sister, and Mika is like my daughter. And when I've never seen a black woman's face turn red and her eyes bulge out, and she was suffocating. And I'm never going to forget that. So yeah, I'm traumatized too, because us white women in our white privilege, we don't don't see that happen on a daily basis to our black and brown friends. So yeah, it's very upsetting, and I really don't like how you refer to me and Pat Mason, CEO of UCSD Health. They y'all are disgusting to treat us this way. Every single person in here has at least 95% of them have children at home. Waiting, these are not violent people. I'm not a violent person. We happen to care about the mental health of a black man that came to you guys asking for help, and you beat him to death. Everyone in this county is outraged. And yes, all my La Jolla friends, except for Mr. Walston, seem to be outraged. I mean, they had a table at the Jewel Ball talking about what's going on and how you guys have portrayed me and my friends. It's not funny. It's downright disgusting. And for you to allow this to happen, and I don't know how you two show up back to work here.
Okay,
This is
please,
scary.
please summarize, thank you.
It's just abhorrent.
Okay,
The
thank
way
you
you
very
have
much.
this happen.
To be followed by Art Fusco.
Good evening. My name is Maria Lucero. I grew up here in Nashville City most of my life. I attended elementary school, junior high, and high school. I also wanted to consider UCSD and attain a treasury management position. I then later got hired as where a county treasurer department for the past 31 years. If there's one thing that I did learn from my position is to earn the integrity, honesty, and accuracy are required to be an outstanding leader for the position, and trust. This city has provided great opportunities not only for me, but for my family. I travel in many cities, but National City is where my heart is at, where my family. And there's nothing like to be here in National City. It's called home. So when I heard things about people doing unethical things to our city and damage to the people in our community, seriously, it breaks my heart and upsets me very bad. This is why I'm here today to ask Councilwoman Monica Rios to come and clear about your poor leadership to our community. Ms. Rios, your poor leadership and poor accounting skills have set the community in hot water, especially destroying the club. Today, I'm asking you to show some leadership into our community and to our people by taking full responsibility to your poor actions. Our city does not deserve this. Our people in this community does not deserve to be.
Please summarize.
Please let us know why and explain where the money went not being rent for 2014 and 2015.
Thank you very much. Mr. Rick Bramlett, followed by Art Fusco, you said no.
Honorable Councilwoman, Dishonorable Mayor Horston, and Councilman, and what's his name? You knuckleheads. Deeply departed, we are gathered here today to mourn the loss of the minds of certain members of the City Council. Last seen, those minds were hightailing it out of town behind a wall of police officers gathered from far and wide in full display of their peacock feathers and riot gear. We who gather here tonight in solidarity with the family of Earl McNeil and all those of color have died at the hands of the National City Police. We wonder what excessive displays of phallic inferiority we are going to witness tonight as we leave these chambers. Will we be greeted by water cannons, tanks, aerial bombardment, or just tear gas?
and it is just that we should be so feared. For we are armed to the teeth with intelligence, honesty, and integrity. I am surprised that the local gang, known as the National City Police, are not quaking in their boots, knowing that last time, in onslaught of 4 whole protesters caused grievous harm to the floor of this very room by laying down on it. Oh, we are such a fearsome lot to go around proclaiming that we were not going to riot and then not rioting. I myself can only pledge they will not say boo within 500 yards of any officer. Thank you for your time, which is to say, thanks for nothing.
Yes! First one, we followed by Yusef Miller, we followed by Catherine
Mendoza.
Mendoza, man. Come on.
You can't write that.
Can I read?
So a couple of things, my colleague and I should say, audit of NCP's policies and procedures, like, and we found out that NCPD, at least whatever they sent us, they don't have a actual policy and procedure on someone who's on drugs, or suspected to be on drugs. Assuming their policy is arrest them. But they do have a policy about suspected mental health, and that is to take them to Paradise Valley. I think it should have been the other thing. It should have been taken to Paradise Valley. And I also think that NCPD needs to have a policy and procedure in place for this type of stuff. Second thing, I talked to the mother of Jacob Velasquez, who was killed by NCPD last year. It's been over a year. She still doesn't have a police report. She still doesn't have a medical examination report. She doesn't have any of that stuff. This Earl McNeil thing is not an isolated thing, it's cumulative. We've looked up NCPD's history since 1970. Okay, and this is the problem. It's continuing on to this day. And you guys are letting it happen. It's bullshit, it needs to stop.
Yusef Miller, we followed by Catherine Mendoza, we followed by Marie.
Oh, wait. I'm right behind you.
My name is Yusef Miller. I'm with the Council on American Islamic Relations and the Racial Justice Coalition. Now, I understand from you that you can't do anything in regards of the stress that the family and the community is feeling about Earl McNeil because these things are locked up. This is what I'm understanding from you. There's no medical report that you can review. It's not your fault. There's no police report that you can review. It's not your fault. But let me tell you something. There are things that you can do. You can review the disconnect between clinics and hospitals and law enforcement when getting mental health issues dealt with instead of police brutality for mental health issues. You can review the de-escalation practices of law enforcement in National City, which is known as the Old West, to the people who suffer from National City. You can review the mental health policies between law enforcement and the communities themselves. You can review funding for 5150 calls. Low funding is not an excuse for people who have lost their lives, especially to the loved ones who survived it. You can review staffing for 5150 calls, that we don't have to always send law enforcement in, these cowboys running and gunning, the people who only cry out for mental health. So there's things you can do. You say you can't do anything with regards to Earl McNeil's case, but there are things you can do in regards to the community. There are things you can do to make sure that we don't have another Alfred Alongo. There are things that you can do to make sure that we don't have another Raul Rivera. There are things that you can do to make sure we don't have another Earl McNeil. So you are not powerless to do something. You can do something. And it doesn't have to be through this case. If this case is the thing that's putting the stumble block before you, please do something to show that you have a faith, that you want the faith of the community behind you, and do something for our people.
Thank you. Next we have Catherine, followed by Marie, followed by Frank Ramirez.
Still pronouncing it wrong. You're pronouncing my name wrong.
Okay, well,
Again.
I was told that the crowd was yelling back.
Yeah.
Excuses,
So,
always excuses.
how many people in this audience are press,
Okay.
as community members, as citizens, we have a right to film.
Please address the dais. Thank you.
Ugh.
You're not paying
So-
attention.
Yeah, quit writing notes then.
So so basically, we have a right, regardless of any kind of credential, to film your public servants in which they took an oath to defend the Constitution, which we have to protect one another, and you're trying to take it away from us. You're trying to police that from us. One of our cop watchers captured as Tasha Williamson was dragged. There's many other things that we captured, and we do that throughout San Diego. This is our right to film. And the fact that we're being policed, that we're kept from filming how this undercover cop, which, yeah, we know he sucks. This undercover cop actually obstructed my view and our Cusco's view while we were trying to film to protect people from, as they were getting arrested. And I can't remember this guy's name, but the socks say it all. So, there's many people here that don't have press passes that are granted by the police department, which I don't know why that needs to happen. But this is our right, don't obstruct it. Because we are the voice of the people. And obviously, you are not transparent in any way, and that's why we have an obligation to our community members to do that. So.
Senate Bill 411, look it up.
Next we have MicRig, followed by Frank Ramirez, followed by Monica Cortez.
As you can tell by now, we are not going nowhere. We are going to be here every time we need to be here until this is resolved and until almost all of you lose their job. We elect you. We'll kick you out of here. I have two issues. The first one is Mr. Kendall. Jerry. You allege sexual harassment from Miss Rios. I mean, look at you. Look at her. Why would anybody want to sexually harass you, first of all? The investigation cost a lot of money to the resident on the national city to find out that you lied. Now, you, the city attorney, why is this man hasn't been disciplined for that? Why does it man doesn't have to pay back the cost of the investigation of his lie? Why? Does it seem fair to you? And this woman has to sit next to him. What have you done, city attorney? Nothing. Next issue. National City PD, you open a can of worms. I am the one who interviewed Earl McNeil. I am a private investigator. I interviewed Earl McNeil a while ago, and he gave me the name of all the people, the district attorney's office that was harassing him. Earl McNeil was a paid informant, and consequently, James Carter is doing life in prison because of paid lie, paid by the district attorney and Bonnie Germani's team. There's a major conflict of interest. The district attorney cannot review that case. Earl McNeil was on the payroll of the district attorney. In a legal point of view, what do you think? Don't you think there's a major conflict of interest? We don't want the district attorney on that case. We are going to build a case against you, against National City Police Department, and we are not going to stop until you lose your job, you and the chief. Where is the chief today?
Yeah, where's the chief?
Has he left his little balls in the kitchen?
Okay, please summarize. Time's up.
Summarize, you need to prepare your resume, guys, because a lot of you are going to be fired very soon, and we're going to make sure that this is happening. Mr. Morrison, you have a pretty smile, but I don't think this is really appropriate for you to smile when somebody else is speaking, and it shows what kind of woman I am. All
Thank
the
you very
men in
much.
this city council are.
Thank you very much. Next we have Frank Ramirez, followed by Monica Cortez, followed by Joshua Williamson.
I just have a request, and I'm going to start introducing myself, and I introduce what my request is. My name is Frank Ramirez, and I live here in National City. I'm a licensed advanced alcohol drug counselor. I'm also a human services board certified practitioner, and I'm currently working as a substance abuse counselor and case manager for Cali Health Corporation at a comprehensive treatment center in Chula Vista. Cali Health Care Corporation has a CTC division, and that is the department I've been working for the past 3 years. But I'm not here representing the company. I'm here because I care for the people I work with every day. As a case manager, my function is to help these people find transitional housing that allows them to learn life coping skills, to restructure themselves, and have them become productive members of our society. No one woke up one day and said, I'm going to be an addict, and I'm starting today. I don't think anybody did that. These are homeless individuals that are on methadone, Suboxone, and other narcotic replacement therapy that are trying to stop illicit drug use to become better persons. I'm asking for your help to identify ways we can help these individuals. There are sober living homes and help houses around town, but none of these programs accept people on methadone. If nothing else, I would like to open a sober living environment home designed for these individuals, I just mentioned. I want to do it legally with the help of the local authorities. I'm asking for suggestions, advice, guidance, and support. Just think of how many people we could help transition from the streets to a clean, sober living environment. A community will benefit of a safe and friendly environment. Thank you all for listening.
Thank you. Monica Cortez, to be followed by Joshua Williamson, to be followed by Brittany McCline.
Good evening. My name is Monica Cortez. Monica Cortez. I want you all to imagine, just for a second, losing a child, losing your only son, losing your only daughter. So, and for months not getting answers, only being met with hostility for demanding what is right as a human being. Well, many of us have gone through this tragic road of injustice and police brutality. Our collective resistance is what brings us here today in solidarity. Because it's not just about justice for Earl McNeil, but for all marginalized people caught in a system of a cycle of racism. And we say no more. No más. We demand transparency, accountability. We demand release of the body cam. We demand the names of all officers involved. And we demand justice for Earl McNeil. Justicia para Earl McNeil. No más.
Okay, next we have Tasha Williamson, to be followed by Brittany McCline, to be followed by Tonatiah.
Hi, my name is Tasha Williamson, and I was the woman that was dragged by her arm, hand, and cuffs the last time you were here. When I asked to complain, I was denied that process. I was told by the detective who was over Earl McNeil's case that that's not the process here in National City, that you can't complain to a supervisor at the scene of where things happen, that you can only complain online or in the office. So I didn't get to complain. That same officer I did not want with me anymore because of how he injured me. And this officer told me that the officers that I didn't see dragging me from behind were new officers. So he lied to me. And then that officer took my seatbelt across my breast as he was seatbelting me. So you left me in an unsafe state after you knew that your officer injured me. And your officer denied me the right to complain. I didn't go to the hospital because as the firemen were coming in, they were fist bumping the police. They weren't disrespectful, but who wants to go to the hospital with somebody who's fist bumping the people that just injured me? So I waited. If this is how you'll treat me, how do you want me to believe how you treated Earl McNeil?
Exactly.
Your officers, 5 of them, left Earl McNeil in a body wrap and a mask for over 2 hours. The chief said Earl McNeil, to the family, walked around the booking station talking to people. Sheriff Gore said he never walked. He was carried out of the NCPD SUV.
Please summarize.
I will.
You listen to her.
He was carried out of the SUV by 8 sheriff deputies and put on a gurney. The paramedics said when they arrived, he was unconscious. The emergency room staff said he was
Thank you very much.
right.
Thank
We
you
want to
very
know
much.
who killed Earl McNeil,
Next
and we're
week.
going to keep coming.
They're gonna cut the mic off. You wanna hear the truth, do ya?
The next person, I'm gonna let you pronounce your name. I don't mind that one. Okay? Okay.
So Brittany Klein, right?
Oh, Brittany Klein, yes. Okay, the next one, okay. So the one after that, like.
You getting nervous, dude?
Okay. The next one after that is, it's T-O-N-A-T-I, it's like an A-H or U-H, I can't tell which one it is. Okay.
So this is directed to the NCPD. Your own website reads, becoming a police officer does not build character, it reveals it. And for the first time since June, I actually agree with that. I actually agree with NCPD. You've revealed being pompous, contradicting, dogmatic, and extremely dishonest. You've revealed that you truly lack empathy for other lives and families with trauma. You've revealed that your job is to protect and serve yourselves and no one else. We are asking for solutions. We are asking to be treated with the same respect that you expect us to have for you. We are simply asking for you to dismantle the clandestine and capricious procedures and conduct. We're asking that at least have your officers get the minimum of the 10-hour high-intensity training for PERT compared to the 80+ hours that you get for the carotid restraint or the chokehold.
Yeah, exactly.
We are simply asking for our voices to be heard that are historically and systematically ignored. If those asks come off as exigent, then so be it. Your code of silence has proven to be traumatic in itself. Your code of silence keeps me up at night. Your code of silence keeps your residents up at night. Their code of silence keeps your neighbors up at night. And if you all are not up at night due to the code of silence as well, then you've been sitting in the wrong seat.
Spell T-O-N-A-T-I-U-H, if it's a U or an A. If not, we have Walter Cameron, to be followed by Sandra Vivagno.
Musical, I never heard of an expert.
Walter Cameron.
Seriously.
Okay. To be followed by Sandra Vivagno, to be followed by Margaret Gaucha.
My name is Juan Carlos. Live here in San Diego. Don't have much to say, except I think what everyone else here already said. Officers are guilty, right? I mean, think about it. Manuel Rodriguez, he says the officer did nothing wrong. Well, then release him. Release what's there. Release what's there. It's an admission of guilt. The fact that he just does it without actually being able to solidify with evidence. The fact that you guys don't know anything about it, really just shows your culpability as well. It's saddening, you know? The degradation of human spirit happens over a process, and you guys are doing it, you guys are contributing to it. So, it's really sad. So in the end, yeah, I think what everyone else is saying, you know, release the tapes, release the autopsies, release that, all that, help our folks on the streets, you know, especially people of color who have to deal with these conditions of having low income, rising rent prices, you know, things that contribute to this mental breakdown. It's sad that you're all complaining that I would like to believe that you're also human, but you're showing that you're not.
They're not.
Walter Cameron, to be followed by Sandra Lubiano, to be followed by Margaret Gottschalk.
Yeah, it's good to be here this evening with all the people from the community. I've been here many times before, but I haven't spoken to you before, and I appreciate the opportunity to speak. There isn't much I could say that hasn't already been said. So I would like to just look at historically what's going on here. And I think what we're looking at is community, and young ones especially, who, because of the advent of this device, now see what really goes on in the community in terms of race, in terms of police apprehension, control, arrest of people of color. This is what happens. It's been talked about for decades upon decades, but now we have evidence. That evidence is in your hands. It was taken. You have cameras throughout the police department. They wear them on their bodies. This is evidence. The only thing people are asking for, and have been from the very beginning, is to share what truth those images will reveal. No one can understand why so many days have gone by. The families suffer with this unknown information to know what happened with their loved one. These are just normal things that everyday people expect for all of you to give us. Why is it being hidden? Why is it being kept from us? Because there's an investigation. There's all kinds of legal jargon about the reasons why. There should be no reason why. It's the truth. It's the only thing we're asking for. We can live with the truth, but we'll not stop fighting for it, ever. The fight for the truth has been going on for centuries here with regard to race. We all know about it. So let's look at it and get real about it and tell the truth.
Sandra Lubiano. Sandra Lubiano. Margaret Gottschalk. To be followed by Ali Marvala. Sorry if I messed up his name. Try.
Mayor, council, and staff. My name is Margaret Gottschalk. I came tonight to discuss a very different issue. It's the issue of idling trucks in the neighborhoods. As you know, the danger that idling trucks poses to people in our communities is very, very real and very, very severe. And that is why I know that in the city we have a law against trucks idling over 5 minutes. When I see it in the neighborhood, I use our secret fix app to let the authorities know that a violation has occurred. When I used it this weekend, I was told that my report was forwarded to, I believe it was Community Services, but it's not a Community Services issue, it's a code enforcement issue. So when I reported the same idling truck again the next day, I was given the response that I responded that this is a police issue and the police need to enforce this. And the response that I got was that the police need to enforce it. But let me tell you what has actually happened with this issue in my neighborhood. when there was a truck hauler, it's usually the trucks that are involved, idling. In this latest case, idled for 3 days straight over the long weekend. I did flag down an officer, and I told the officer that there was an idling truck. The immediate response from the officer was to explain to me why the trucker was idling, as if to justify the fact that this trucker was violating the law. So when I told the officer, no, I live very close to the idling truck, and I'm very concerned about the emissions, he asked me if I could hear the truck.
Please don't.
So in other words, it was a question of noise pollution. But we know that the real issue is dangerous to the environment and to the health of all those who work, play, and live in our communities. So I think to summarize, I think that it's really, really important to educate those in the city and on police, in the police department as to why we have those laws and why it's important to enforce them, so that we can feel confident that we are being protected and that we can depend on them to enforce those very important laws. Even the dispatcher was giving a justification for the violation of the law.
Ali, Rambam, by Mr. Hima.
They don't care about killing Earl. They don't care about island.
Ali. Followed by, last name is Belfer, B-E-L-F-E-R, Belfer. So we have Ali, is there? There you go, that's Belfer. Okay, so Ali, the number one.
I'm having a hard time pronouncing my name.
Yes.
Mr. Morrison, that's too bad. You know what, you did actually engage on Facebook with me the other week, and you were so rude. I'm not sure. And for you to be mayor it's astounding, and I would urge the citizens of National City never to put you in the public office again. On the 24th of July, when I was arrested with the other protectors by your officers. Where is our lovely smirking chief tonight? He's not here?
Scumbag's not here.
He's not here? Anyway, I've been told that your police department knows how to comport themselves and how to be peaceful and how to de-escalate. And I learned that they do have a protocol for doing that. And the reason I learned that, can you look at me, Mr. Morrison, or are you incapable?
No, I'm capable, but I'm also.
Well, no, there isn't another thing you should be doing right now. You should be looking at the person who's Tasha's mic, but you didn't cut that last woman's mic when she was up here talking about your drug problem. So maybe you need to think about equity.
Prejudice.
So what I was going to tell you is that your officers do know how to de-escalate, do know how to treat people with justice, because Will Phillips was my arresting officer. And he was very nice to me. He offered me water when I was in the back hallway for 2 hours. He offered me a seat on the ground. He made sure my handcuffs were comfortable. He even loosened them 2 different times, once by adding an extender. When we got to Las Colinas, he told me that he needed to remove my hair clips. And he said, I don't want to hurt you, so I'm going to uncuff you so you can remove them. That doesn't happen to black women. That doesn't happen to black women at Las Colinas. That doesn't happen to black men in your police department, right? Then when I was getting my mugshot taken and I was in handcuffs, when I turned to the side, my hair was falling in my face. And the man taking the picture told Officer Phillips that he needed to move my hair and my ear. And he reached over his hand and he put his hand on my hair to put it behind my ear. Do you know how intimate of an act that is? It's disgusting. Disgusting. The whole thing was disgusting. And all of you here need to be paying attention to the way the police department is treating people of color versus white people. This is a race issue. You need to be looking at what they're doing. You need to put this on your agenda. Quit intimidating the women that sit next to you. We know that you started that meeting again that night. And then the 3 of you, Jerry and Albert, you guys sit there like lumps on a log as this happens in your city, in our community. and that you bullied the two of them, that you eviscerated them. And now they've changed their story. They think that they believe in the process. What is the process?
Please summarize.
What else do you want me to say? What else do you want me to say?
Good night.
We want you to put this on the agenda.
See you on Facebook. Recess.
Renee Wade, to be followed by Terry Best, to be followed by Andrea Beth Dansky. Renee Wade, followed by Terry Best, and then by Andrea Beth Dansky.
Agitators, A-G-I-T. Let me look, because I want to be like you. Make sure I got it right. I want to make sure I got it right. A-G-I-T-A-T-O-R. What does that mean? A person who urges others to protest or rebel. No, that's not what we're doing. We're not asking people to protest and rebel against the system, the government. We're asking them to protest against crooked elected officials and police that kill and murder black and brown innocent people, but yet white men who make real crimes walk away scratch-free, okay? So, the last time we was here, I needed therapy, okay? I grew up in Oakland, California, the land of police brutality, but I have never witnessed it in my life. I witnessed it the day Tasha and Mika were brutalized. We came here with the right that the First Amendment gives us. And what is that, you ask me? Because I'm pretty sure you probably don't remember that either. Probably been a long time. So let me make sure I'm correct. We have the right to assemble, peacefully protest. We have the right to petition for redress, grievance. You know what that means? That means that even if we don't live in the city, but we travel to and fro because we have family, we have friends, we come in contact with every police officer in this county. We do matter. Our dollars matter. So anyway, back to the redress and grievance. That means that we have the right to call you, elected officials, to do your job, to fix it, to fix the policies, to fix the procedures. And we are tired of coming in this community afraid. I have never been to jail. I have never even had a ticket. But when I come to National City and I travel to see my sister who was active duty Navy, when I come through here, I'm scared to death. And I'm scared in San Diego County. I used to think the police were good people. I was living in a bubble. My bubble has been bursting a year ago. And a woman that the eyes have been opened, you should be afraid of us. Because we're not going anywhere, and the reason to be afraid of us is because we're learning our rights, and we're learning how to hold you all accountable.
Okay, thank you very much.
Don't thank me.
Terry Best. Followed by Andrea Beth Dansky, to be followed by last name is B-L-A-K-E-E.
My name is Terry Best. I live in Golden Hill, and I shop in National City at the Sweetwater exit there, the Town Country. I'm here to talk about the RAP. It's a restraining device currently used by National City Police. I work for an emergency medicine publication. I asked an emergency medicine physician about the RAP. They looked into it and said it appears to be a transporter and would never be used on an accompanied person or on a person with excited delirium, which is a condition caused by substance toxicity. I looked online and discovered a training manual by the manufacturers of the RAP. In several places, it admonishes to never leave a person unattended and never use on a person suspected of drug use.
Yep.
From there, I read articles describing problems ranging from injuries to death of people restrained in the RAP.
Uh-oh.
I also saw police protocols that were results of these injuries and deaths. Police are actually making protocols because the RAP, they're using the RAP incorrectly. These protocols were the result of these injuries and death. All of the procedures simply reiterated what the RAP training manual and my physician colleague admonishes.
Do not leave people unaccompanied, and do not use the rap on people with toxicity. I'll leave you with this quote from the Hayward Police Sergeant Tasha DaCosta. Hayward PD is one of the police departments being sued for misuse of the rap. The sergeant says, in Hayward, the rap is only used in violent confrontations by higher-ups who are trained at least once a year. New devices like the rap usually need city council approval. Please begin a community discussion about proper training and the use of the rap. Rest in peace, Earl McNeil.
And lastly, it looks like BLAKEE, it looks like.
Go to
And
school.
then after that, where did you have to?
What, you can't read? Can your assistant help you?
Good evening, Mayor, council members, and staff. It grieves me to be here tonight. My name is Andrea Bethgansky. I'm president of San Diego Progressive Democratic Club, a county-wide organization. I'm here tonight to express that we have joined the coalition of civil rights, community-based, and faith-based organizations in supporting the family of Earl McNeil, who died from injuries sustained 100 days ago today after being detained by National City Police Department. It is our understanding that Earl McNeil sought emergency assistance from the National City Police Department for mental health issues. God forbid that any of you should seek emergency assistance from your own police department. By the end of that day, Mr. McNeil was admitted to UCSD Medical Center as he developed a critical condition due to life sustained life-threatening injuries, and he subsequently died. It is our understanding that the family of Mr. McNeil has questions about the death of their loved one which have not been answered to their satisfaction. I heard at the beginning of this meeting all the reasons about what the city council can do and why. And what I ask you is to think outside the box. What can you do? Instead of saying, we can't go here, we can't go there, we can't look at this, we can't talk about that. Look about what you can do. Look at how you can address your grieving community, your very scared community. As a woman who does not live in National City, I'm scared of your police department. As a woman looking at Jerry Campbell and hearing about the things that he did, accusing Councilmember Williams falsely of sexual harassment, I feel safe with you here. San Diego Progressive Democratic Club implores all of you and Chief Rodriguez and city staff and anybody who has any power to relieve this family's suffering by providing access to what they need as soon as possible. Thank you. And lastly, we're going to be voting in November, and we're going to review. Thank you.
Votes matter.
Sorry, I don't want to mess up your first name there. Oh, okay. I'll let you answer. Followed by Gloria Jean Nieto, to be followed by Marcus Boyd.
So, first of all, in the news, you called me an agitator. And I just wanted to let you know that I will continue to agitate the hell out of you. But I want to talk a little bit about why you guys will be, and the process of you being sued is happening, right? So the first time I was arrested, one of your officers, it looks like the only black officer you have, decided to continuously push me in my stomach. What he didn't know is that I suffer from endometriosis, a rare case of endometriosis. It is not just on my reproductive organs, but it's on my bowels and it's moving to my lungs. So when I had to be walking around for looking like a 6-month pregnant woman after your officer pushed me in the stomach multiple times, and then I was arrested. Then the second time I was arrested, still peacefully protesting, it wasn't until white women that stood up and got arrested with us, seeing that I was suffocating and had turned purple, that then they shouted and said, she is suffocating. And that's when your officers decided to check my head and decided to put me up against the wall and tried to make sure I was okay. because white people were watching. Before, when I was laying on the ground, it took one of, I think the only non-corrupt officer you have in the office to tell the rest of the officers, and especially the one he's seen trying to break my wrist, that she is not resisting. You don't need to do that to her. So what I am saying to you is you are receiving lawsuits very soon. And we will not stop agitating. And I can only imagine what Earl McNeil went through when you did what you did to a woman who's only $135. You tried to harm me. And I'm saying you because you are a reflection of the department. You are the leadership of this department. And if you are corrupt, they are very much corrupt. And so we will continue to agitate. You and I can continue to go back and forth on Facebook. And we can continue to be childish. Call it whatever you like. I will continue to show up every single time you have a meeting, disrupting.
Thank you very much.
Your whole system. No.
Yes.
You don't tell me when I'm done. I tell you. You run your show. We the people are the power. And don't you forget that.
Will be followed by Marcus Boyd, will be followed by Darwin Fishman.
And what's that lie about people spitting on your officers?
Where Nieto is followed by Marcus Boyd, will be followed by Darwin Fishman.
Good evening, my name is Gloria Jean Nieto, and my concern is number 27 on the agenda.
Then you have to wait number 27 then. You get that was public communication. Let me mark that one for you. Okay, then we go on to Marcus Boyd, will be followed by Darwin Fishman, will be followed by Loxie Gant.
Good evening, Council, Mr. Mayor, city staff, National City Police Department. There's been some negligence, and you're aware of the negligence. If you weren't aware of the negligence, you would have released the tapes and the audio. But there's been negligence. There's been admitted negligence by the chief when he told the news media that Earl McNeil was left in the car unattended. The RAP specifically prohibits that. So we have further negligence by not discussing the things you can do as a body. As a body, you can talk about, clearly you had a person that was under a mental health issue, and you had somebody that was in need of that type of service from the police department, which actually has that type of service, but they don't because of your negligence. So the reason I'm here, I'm not a professional agitator, as you had alluded to on Facebook so embarrassingly. But the reason I am here is because I have a nephew, just a few melanin skin darker than the one that was killed, named Earl McNeil. He happens to have a mental health issue. He happens to live in the street in National City. And when I spoke to him about the National City Police, first he looked like he was scared. Then he told me, tell him I said thanks for the backpack. I don't know what that means, but I guess you probably do. So you've given him a backpack, and you've also given him a clear snuff film, so he gets to know that in the streets, if he doesn't kowtow and do exactly what he's told as the boy that you're treating him as, then you will kill him, and you will not be responsible, accountable, or transparent. And you will talk about how non-transparent you are on Facebook like a childish boy. So the only boy that I see is this one, and that one. You may need to grow some. Please summarize. In summary, please, in summary. Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check.
What happened to Earl McNeil?
What happened to Earl McNeil?
Darwin Fishman, be followed by Loxie Gant, be followed by Mark Lane.
My name is Darwin Fishman. I'm
of the Racial Justice Coalition and activist San Diego, and definitely a proud supporter of the Justice for Earl McNeil movement. And I'm back again, and I came before and I talked about my work with the Community Review Board of Police Practice in San Diego that I've been a part of. And I talked before about the Community Police Relations Commission here in National City. And I mentioned before that if you simply just go into things like the website, it's not only outdated, it's from about 15 years ago. Now that you've improved, if you click on it now, it says page not found. So at least someone's tinkering with it. I think the thing, what's extraordinary, this is just an example because people are covering different areas, is in many respects the national civilian oversight. Nicole been talking about National City as a model of what not to do for civilian oversight and all the problems that you have, whether it's the board meeting every few years, the training for them, the actual review of cases. It's really poorly done. And one can only imagine that if you literally simply don't have any empathy, you don't care, and that's completely disconnected from you. That you can't imagine having a loved one that actually has an incident with the police and actually needs something like civilian oversight, where you can't actually just rely and trust on things like the police to investigate themselves and to have the district attorney to cover it. And it's really horrible, the situation, because this is, in many respects, very simple to address. Most cities, small and large, have done this. The reason why you have civilian oversight, it allows the community to play a process in the legal in dealing with these issues, specifically based on civilian complaints. If they have a bad experience or there's the use of force or lethal force by the police, then the community plays a role in the process. You're not simply just accepting the police investigating themselves or the district attorney rendering their judgment. It makes all the difference in the world when you finally get to the point where you're going to actually have something like the district attorney make a decision on whether or not to prosecute an officer for what happened to Earl McNeil. The community isn't going to have any buy into it because they were involved in the process at all. If you don't have a transparent process, there's no way for the community to
Please
get
summarize.
and you're literally not allowing people to come before you as agenda item in city council, you leave no avenue for people to be involved with the process. There's no reason to trust what you're doing, and it's a horrible way to proceed.
Thank you very much.
It's unnecessary.
Next, we have Watson Gann. To be followed by Mark Lane, to be followed by Steve Dorner, or Dorner.
Good evening. Hello. Mr. Morrison, there was a quote from you that said, I am not answerable to them. Now, undeservingly, I'm going to give you a little bit of grace, and I'm going to skip over the insulting and sexist reference and just leave your quote as that. But I'm also going to give you the benefit of the doubt that by calling us a them, you were referring to all of us. Maybe you meant activists or advocates or social justice warriors, and that you were not referring to my friends in a racist context. You are correct, though. Most of us are not residents of National City, and we do not live here and do not pay your salary with our taxes. However, as outsiders, we are what most mayors call visitors, tourists, and customers. You have said that we are outsiders and that we are not welcome here, but I would like to ask any business owner, restaurant owner, and the Chamber of Commerce here in National City. So Jacqueline Reynoso, I am calling you out, the CEO of the Chamber of Commerce. I am asking if you agree with your mayor and do not want any visitors or outsiders any longer. So Jacqueline Reynoso, I expect to hear from you. There is even a website called visitnationalcity.com.
Get killed.
What? This is the city. So this is the reputation that you have now of a lack of transparency and a criminal nature. And so for future visitors of your city, what if I was a patron at Goodies or at Crab Fever, and what if I began to choke? Would your ambulance not come to help me? Maybe they might ask for my papers or my ID. Maybe they might want to verify that I'm one of you. We are currently undergoing a national conversation about inclusion and borders. So, sir, in your capacity as speaking on behalf of the taxpayers and business owners of National City, want us, activists, and my friends of color out, you better build a wall.
Next, we have Mark Lane, to be followed by Vince Dormer, to be followed by Julie Cross.
So there's a lot to unwrap here, but you're only giving me 2 minutes. So Albert and Jerry, you guys can sit back and relax because I'm going to unwrap some of the dumbass crap you said in the press about these people, Ron. You called Tasha Williamson in an interview dead weight. First of all, the irony in you calling anybody dead weight after 26 years of your nothing on this dais is astounding.
So he's going to prison.
Tasha Williamson is a full-grown adult woman. A proud, intelligent, strong black woman. You're disrespectful, you're rude, and for 26 years, all you've done is pad your pension and tend to your political alliances. You calling anyone dead weight is comical. You said we're professional agitators. How imbecilic is that? Maybe you can direct me to where I can sign the contract, because I haven't signed one yet. I'm still an amateur agitator, Ron. But I would like to get paid. I would like to get paid, Ron. You said we're outside agitators. Why don't you look at me? I'm talking to you. That's what public commentary is for. You're a public official, and you do answer me because I do vote here in National City. Okay, so you do answer me. You're going to answer me because I'm going to give you another number, 63. It's how many days left you have up here being dead weight.
Yep.
Bye-bye. Out of one side of your mouth, you call us outside agitators. On the other side of your mouth, you bring in 100 outside riot police.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You don't think you do those things, Ron, you hypocrite. On one side of your mouth, you call us outside agitators, Ron. I'm going to tell you something. I'm not the best historian, so maybe if there's someone out here that knows better, I don't ever recall Martin Luther King going town to town to ask all the white racist mayors permission to protest in their town.
Next we have Steve Dormer, to be followed by Julie Corrales, to be followed by Amy Redwell. I'm not too sure. I can't quite read her last name. Dragon. Okay? Please go ahead, Steve.
My name is Stephen Dorner. I'm a member of the NAACP San Diego. It's 3 months now since Mr. Earl McNeil died after injuries sustained while in the custody of your police department, a police department that is charged with the safety of the public. His family still does not have and cannot have peace because you continue to refuse to disclose the circumstances surrounding his injuries. There has been, and I'm sure there will continue to be, much in the way of strategy and tactics on each side. It is in our nature as human beings to want to win and not to look too deeply into the rightness of our cause. I once heard the Dalai Lama say, there is no they, there is only we. We are all human beings. You, me, Mr. McNeil, and his family. We are all far more alike than we are different. You must not think as though Mr. McNeil and his family are not worthy of concern. They are every bit as worthy as are you. Their circumstances may be different than yours, but that is a matter of birth, not worth. In the end, the only way we win is if we recognize our shared humanity and act with compassion. Either we act with that compassion and we all win, or we act from fear and mistrust and we all lose. The right thing, the compassionate thing, the human thing, is to release the information you have and let Mr. McNeil's family have the peace you would want for yourselves.
Thank you. Next we have Julie Corrales, to be followed by Amy Aguero. I'm not too sure how you pronounce that last name right.
Well, it's got too many syllables for
Julie.
you. God, you're coming
Julie and Amy.
prison and all your all's
Sorry, I
futures.
was waiting to call.
Okay, all right. And, okay, you just identify yourself, the record.
Sorry?
You just identify yourself, the record.
Oh, Jewish Cornelius.
Okay.
So, last time I was here, I said we were gonna be back and we weren't gonna stop, and it's used here every single time, so I'm just, here again, keeping my word. The corruption, on the city council is so entrenched and it's disgusting, it's despicable. We all know what you're trying to do with your little measure, the Mayor Morrison, stay on a very dismal time. We know you're running for council, but you're not gonna make it. This is nationwide now. I want to read you a couple things. Former Philadelphia police officer charged with murder after fatal shooting in Huntington Park. Alabama police officer indicted in the murder of a suicidal man. Former Baltimore officer indicted in being caught on video. The people are done. This is way beyond your little town.
Yep.
We're fed up.
Yep. And
we're coming for you. You're done. You're done in National City. You're done in San Diego. It's over for you. And these crooked police cops were coming after you too.
Yep, going to prison too,
You are
guys.
the next headline. Justice for Earl McNeil. Release the tapes. Release the audio. Stop being cowardly and corrupt. You do work for the people. You say we're outsiders. No, we're not. We're freedom fighters. We come to where the injustices are happening to defend people of color, people who have less privilege than we do. We're not done. I'll see you guys in a couple weeks. See you next time.
Ollie, Nick Lumber, Ollie. You can't do it. Ollie, and also we have Sandra, Piano. Okay, that finishes off the, I'm sorry. Please identify yourself for the record. Huh?
Mi nombre es Sandra Minero. My name is Sandra
Daniel.
Buenas tardes.
Good afternoon to everyone.
Mi cuestión es con ellos.
I have a question from one of you.
Cuando era presidenta del Club Rotario y regidora en el año 2014-2015.
When she was president of the Rotary Club and a council member during 2014 2015.
¿Por qué no pagó renta del edificio de Martin?
Why didn't she pay rent for the building of Martin Luther King? That's my question.
Gracias. Buenas tardes.
Thank you and good afternoon.
Okay, thank you. That is all the speakers that we have for public oral communication. And we go on now to our next item, which is
You guys want to
proclamation. We do have a proclamation for
Actually, Mr. President, a person that was here to receive the proclamation has to leave.
It's all very happy.
Individuals that have left, and so we will give that to them on proclamation.
Yeah, the chief can come out now.
No, it's not.
You could bring the chief out now. We're leaving.
Sorry, you do not get to speak from the audience.
I'm leaving. It's all right. You can kick me out all you want.
Yeah, exactly.
Murderer, coward, racist.
Who killed Earl McNeil? Who killed Earl McNeil?
You know why you don't want to release the evidence, because you guys are all, shut up. You're probably guilty.
That's all I know.
You're guilty. You're all going to prison.
All
We'll chat on Facebook, all right?
Exactly.
Yeah. We'll chat on Facebook. Fucking troll.
You guys are scumbags.
You're gone, dude.
All of you guys are going to prison.
Yep, that's right.
Scumbags, prisoners. It's all in your future. Fucking prisoners right here.
Fucking tyrant.
Scumbag prisoners right here. Follow your own, you fucking scumbags.
Fucking tyrant.
You look as soulless as you did last time I was here when we were protesting because ICE, with the complicity of the police force here, detained and tried to deport 2 parents of the Valente family. And we came here and we protested just like we're doing. And you look like you're just dying from the inside because you're so immoral. You won't even look at the people who are talking to you. You won't even look to me. You just look at the cards, which you can't even read off. No one up here is coming in suits to talk to you because everyone out here is working and I guess getting killed by the cops that are on your payroll. So you can sit around in suits all day, start thinking, start putting together that you're on this side because you're our enemy. The police are our enemies. And it doesn't take some kind of moral clarity from you, Mr. Roy Morrison, to change that. It's going to be you leaving office. Quitting their jobs. Because at the end of the day, these cops walk around toting guns and badges, looking at people like they're our enemies, right? It's our power. So Ron, you're far beyond your time now. Your shit's over. Your shit's done. And honestly, all of you, you're probably all fucking up too. Alright? Join the people. Quit sitting around in suits. This shit doesn't change shit.
Showing out for the white
We come
cop.
back and forth, and every time we have to keep protesting, and every time you call us outside agitators, just like last time. I don't live here in National City, but I'm gonna come here and yell at you, and you how am I supposed to know? You just probably rotate. They pick you up from these like factories where they can do shitty stuff. Every time, right? Until you're gone, until you're all gone, until people can walk around safe at night, until people who have mental health issues can get those addressed, and all the police who carry guns on them, who carry stun guns, who carry pepper spray.
Come on!
They don't carry books.
Come on! Judge, you're an executioner!
Let's summarize.
Take your time! Take your time!
Just because you bark orders at me.
That's right!
I
love it. You're done, Morrison! November, buddy! Time up! See ya!
Thank you.
Baby! Say his name! Say his name!
My whole thing is, if the proclamation is sitting right over there, why can't I see it? The reason is that, as we talk about the issues of the dais, as we talk, and I would encourage us all, again, as we talk about the code of conduct, as we talk about other ways in which we are conducting ourselves, I really think that it speaks volumes that all of us were willing to sign a proclamation for workplace gender equity and to speak to equality, and that we, again,
if we sign on to proclamations like that, that we do abide by that and we show respect to all of our colleagues here as we move forward for the rest of the meeting. Thank you.
Good luck today!
We go on into our recognitions. We have a introduction of a new employee and from.
Great.
No
No justice! No peace! 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 No racist police! 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 No justice! No peace! This is what democracy looks like! Show me what democracy looks like! This is what democracy looks like! Show me what democracy looks like! This is what democracy looks like! Show me what democracy looks like! This is what democracy looks like! Show me what democracy looks like! This is what democracy looks like! Show me what democracy looks like! This is what democracy looks like! Look like this, y'all! What it look like? What it look like? Like this, y'all! Show me what community looks like! This is what community looks like! Show me what democracy looks like! This is what democracy looks like! Not just another day. They can't get away with this!
Document them! 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 Document Document them! Document them! Document them! Document them! Document them! Document them! You have blood on your hands! 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 You have blood on your hands!
$50 stuff that was costed between water and wastewater.
Bringing them all out. How would you feel if your son got killed by the cops, man?
You're not judge, jury, and executioner. 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 You're not judge, jury, and executioners. You're not judge, jury, and executioners. You're liars! 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 Cowards! You're murderers!
Next, we have item 34, it's a resolution of the City Council on adopting the city policy number 119, which is code of ethics and conduct for elected officials, council appointed officials, and city business commissions and committees.
That's him right there.
I don't have a presentation.
Stop living on your knees, you guys. Stand up for what's right.
Supported the last council meeting with the exception of an addition of the glossary that was requested by the council, so that has been inserted into the policy. Otherwise, the policy remains unchanged.
Good cops quit! 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 Good cops quit!
Which one of you had, what's that called? Therapy! Who had therapy? Who had therapy? Which one of y'all had therapy? Who killed?
God! It's G-O-D, not C-O-P.
Yes!
It's G-O-D.
Is that what you guys signed up for, man?
It's G-O-D, not C-O-P.
Hold up, everybody.
can't put that shit on and we trust you to put a wrap on somebody's body, man. You can't even put that shit on, dude.
My question is with regards to the time of sales, what has been approved by our board?
You guys recognize any of these names? You guys murdered them.
And that's Monday through Sunday?
Coworkers murdered them.
I'm sure those sergeants know exactly who they are.
Sergeant, do you recognize any of these names listed? These are all someone's sons or daughters. You guys murdered them.
I'm sorry, that's Dick.
That's Dale, Lieutenant.
Heard of Emmanuel Sotelo?
Thank you.
They don't know who's here, but they have videos.
Thank you. My question was regarding time as well. So the 10 to 10 p.m., is that consistent with that area? Well, I know you said it's consistent with the council policy, but in that area, is there areas that are open at that time? And they're until 10 o'clock as well.
So it looks like that's pretty much it. Just keeping an eye on these cops, making sure they don't rush the crowd in the lobby.
Okay, so the areas that they're not widespread area is I don't know what happened. But I just wanted to make sure that we were being consistent so that we don't have other.
They're protecting the city council meeting. I don't know why, because we could go walk in there if we want.
Are we looking at the future prisoners?
Yeah.
Going to San Quentin? Hi, future prisoners. How are you guys? All conspirators, every single one of you guys. You obey an oath. Okay? Listen, the reason why bad cops are getting good cops killed is because you guys do this Gestapo blue line sovereign citizen bullshit. And it's got to stop. Okay?
Nobody gives a shit about your blue line.
You guys covering for bad cops is going to send you all to prison. Is that worth it? Are you guys really that dedicated to this Gestapo blue line that you all are willing to be conspirators in a murder case, and all of you, the entire department, go to prison? You guys are so willing to stand up to that Gestapo blue line that you all are willing to go to prison over this conspiracy case. Yeah, now you guys invoked your fucking Fifth Amendment, don't you? You sovereign citizens, son of bitches. It's not Americans that are sovereign citizens. It's you fucking rat bastards that are now the sovereign citizens. Don't you get that? It's not the people that are walking around saying that they're traveling and that they don't need a driver's license and they don't need insurance and all the bureaucratic bullshit. Yes, sir. Come right through, sir. You guys are the one that drive around with no tags on your license plate with exemption. You guys get to commit criminal acts.
Because we don't know if what is actually being processed. 503rd Avenue. The National Police will be going to court. So myself, Tasha, Aaron, Blair, Amy. We are all in here. We are all, due for court. We have our day of court. So hopefully the charges will, but knowing that there are lawsuits going against them, they're probably going to try to attack us in that way. And so any support, anybody who could come out and support us, we appreciate it. We love you guys. Thank you for coming out tonight. And so if you need us, we're there for you, and you guys have been there for us. So we appreciate you. And we'll see you tomorrow.
500 3rd Avenue, Chula Vista.
In the time?
Can I go back to my sovereign citizen spiel now?
Hey, go for it.
No, it's all good.
Yeah, Earl McNeil could have been your son, homie.
Watch out, sovereign citizen coming through.
Clear what the attorney said, you need to vocalize the second. The facts are clear.
I think that's about it, folks.
Thank you. I want to speak against this motion. I've been an alternate on the League of Cities now since 2011.
Alright, folks, thanks for tuning in.
All those chevrons and all those stripes are coming off.
I'm speaking first against.
Alright, folks, I'm gonna take it down now in case unless anything else happens, I'll go back up.
Not incarcerate and generate revenue and to murder people who come in to surrender themselves for help. That's exactly what you did.
Alright, folks, I'm gonna shut it down now. If anything else happens, I'll go back up. I'm not sure what's outside. Don't know if the sheriffs are out there, but actually I'm gonna walk out there while I'm still alive.
So I was pretty hard for Texas straight nights.
Little big ass motherfucker.
Hey, bro.
Hope you have nightmares, homie. Alright, folks. Let's see. I don't see no sheriffs over there. Let's go peep the scene before the rest of the crowd comes out. Make sure sheriffs aren't fucking set up. I guess it was pretty peaceful, no arrests yet. No, I don't see no sheriffs around here. I see a couple of cars over there by their station, but there's a fire truck parked over there. Alright, I'm gonna go down now. Thanks for tuning in. I'll be right back up if anything pops off, but looks like that's about it. So thanks for tuning in and peace out. And please, y'all, hit up the thumbs up, man. Alright, folks. Peace.